All right, we got another game this week. Two teams that are desperate for a victory, and so I assume that both teams will play extremely hard and try to get the monkey off their back, so to speak. New Mexico State has moved the ball against everybody, both running it and throwing it. They use two quarterbacks. One's a little bit better thrower, one's a little bit better runner, but they do both things. They run the pistol offense. They spread it out and throw it around some. On defense, they're basically a 4-3 team, even though they do some 3-4 things and do some unusual things in long yardage with two down linemen and linebackers standing up and blitzing and those sort of things. So I think it's a game that both teams are going to be desperately trying to win.
Coach, is it hard to tell, I guess, the true standard of this team because of the competition they faced the first 4 weeks? They had, Texas, Minnesota, UCLA. Does that make it hard to gauge how good they are?
It makes it hard to gauge on exactly how good they are, but they have been very competitive, especially early in the game against all those teams that I would guess supposedly would have superior talent, but they've played them really hard, and they've been in the game and very competitive early in the game. I think they have a very good offensive line, which allows everything to work well.
When you're on defense, does that make it easier to game plan for a team that uses two quarterbacks, knowing, I guess, if one's a better passer when he comes in, they're likely going to pass, and vice versa?
No, it doesn't make it any easier because they both do. They do both. One just has a little bit better feel for the pistol and the read and him running with the ball. And the other one does run the pistol, and they do run the zone read and all that. He has a little better completion ratio. They do a little bit more spread stuff when he's in the game. They do a little bit more pistol stuff when the other one's in the game. But they both run both offenses. They don't run a single offense.
And then on defense, they have that safety, Davis Mazaris. What makes him so good? I think he had, what was it, 12 tackles or something.
He's big, strong, fast, very aggressive. He's an NFL football player. Aggressive. I think he had 12 tackles and 2 interceptions and a caused fumble or something against UCLA.
Rocky, how important is a win based on the current 0-3 record?
I think the win is very important for both teams. Everything is a momentum. The game of football is based on momentum during the game or and the season is based on momentum. If you get on a winning streak, the momentum allows you to overcome some things that happen bad and you can still win. If you get on a losing streak, it seems like things happen against you that you don't expect. Or maybe it's as simple as we've turned the ball over 11 times and been sacked 10 times, and we've caused 5 turnovers on defense. And maybe it's as simple as mistakes that we are making.
Coach, when you look at their defense, they're giving up 600 yards a game. What do you think they're struggling with most? What's sort of some of the exploit maybe?
Well, I think it's a variety of things. They have played against different offenses from week to week, which makes it hard on you. I mean, they played Minnesota, who is a pounded pro-style team that pounds it at you. And then they played UTEP that tried to pound it at them, and it didn't work. So then UTEP went to the spread and threw it around the park. And then they play UCLA, who is a up-tempo, run a play every 15, 16 seconds. So it's hard to lock in a defense into defensive plan and execute it well if you're seeing completely different offenses from week to week. I think that's an issue that all defensive teams have, unless they have superior front sevens.
Coach, for you in particular, is this game a little special considering your time at UNM and facing UNC?
No, it's not anything special.
Rocky, your quarterback situation, will you stay with what you're at right now, or would you see Adam coming back at all, or where are you at?
Adam's still sore, but Quinn will be the starter. I think that he played well enough to earn that spot. Adam Dingwall will get some reps this week, but not a lot of reps. We're trying to get his back well. Chad Jeffries will get some of the backup reps as we go, but Quinn Kaler's the starter.
What were some of the things you liked from his debut game last week?
I like pretty much everything he did until the last two and a half minutes.
Coach, is the plan still to see if Derek Lauder's still healthy enough to practice today?
He's going to try to practice some today. He wanted to, so he's going to try to practice some. We'll see how he moves around.
So, with Chase Pratt's out, are we going to see more of these Humphrey, or are you going to go and put some new names as well?
Well, right now, Pumphrey would be the backup to Moema, but Dwayne Garrett will get some reps in practice, and I'm sure he'll get some reps in the game too. I think we'll split the reps that Moema doesn't take with those two guys.
Him being kind of a smaller kid, how's he handling, the D1 level, the physicality of it? Do you think he's going to be able to take those extra reps and go?
I think he's exceeded our expectations. We knew he was quick and fast, but if you watch, there are times we've run him up in between the tackles. Now, he doesn't break any tackles when he's up in there, but he hits it hard, and he hits the seam hard, and he gets whatever positive yards that are there.
What are you losing in Chase Pratt, though? He only had a couple carries on Saturday, but all those runs he had were pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's good in the open field. I think he can make people miss, and he's one of the faster guys on our team.
Rocky, how's the morale of the team? How do you judge the morale of the team?
Well, I haven't seen him yet today, and we don't practice on Monday. Sunday they were okay. I mean, obviously they were disappointed, but the energy was pretty good at practice. We don't practice very long. We only go for about 45 minutes, but the energy was pretty good in practice. So hopefully their confidence level is a little higher, and they're excited about playing again.
Do you have anything that you'll tell them this week to keep them from getting two down or keep them up?
Anything special? No, probably not. You got something special that works? When you're a coach, you try all kinds of things to make sure that they're going into the next game excited. But my experience in the number of years I've coached, my experience is it's kind of an individual basis. They have to do it on their own. I mean, you got to give them an opportunity to be successful, but they have to do it on their own, just like getting ready for a game. Some guys are laid back, cool, and calm, and other guys are pacing up and down, chewing gum, and just trying to get rid of some excess energy. But everybody gets ready to play a different way, so every player's responsible for getting himself ready to play. They're competitors. They ought to want to play.
Coach, with the corners, J.J. Whitaker, before this year, he hadn't played because he had all those surgeries. Do you feel like now he's living up to what you guys thought he was going to be when you brought him in?
Oh, I think he's going to be a lot better than he is right now. But I think the corners have made good progress over the first three games. All of them have. DeMonte's played pretty well. JJ's played pretty well. King had probably his best game of his career last Saturday. David Lamar played okay. I think they're a lot better now than they were the first game.
Coach, is there any one specific area of the team where you can point at and say this group has made the most progress since game 1 to game 3? Is it the cornerbacks, or is it a different position?
I don't know. I mean, the cornerbacks have been put in a lot of one-on-one situations and have continually gotten better as the weeks have gone on. They did a much better job against Oregon State, who has outstanding receivers, as compared to Eastern Illinois, that probably doesn't have the caliber of receivers Oregon State has. So they've made good improvement.
Doug Martin was saying on his conference call today that he's watched your teams over the years, and you always have liked to play man-to-man, but the last couple of years you played more zone. Is that a philosophy thing or a personnel thing, just doing what your personnel can do?
That's both. You have to play. You don't have to, but when you start playing spread option teams or zone read teams or pistol teams that run some form of option, you can't cover all three of the aspects of the play in man-to-man coverage. So people that are running more of the zone read option and the pistol option, it's more like, if you can compare it to something in the running game, it's more like the wishbone. And it's almost impossible to play man-to-man coverage against the wishbone. So as more and more teams become option-type teams in their running game, you have to play more zone in order to take away all three aspects of the play. If you play man-to-man, all they do is run you off, and you have nobody that's responsible for either the quarterback or, at times, they pitch the ball. And a lot of times, if you play man-to-man, you don't have anybody responsible for the quarterback. You can take care of the dive or the quarterback. You can't take care of both unless you have a zone concept where people can run what we call the alley, inside out, dive the quarterback. So it's more the offenses that we're playing against now than it is about my personal philosophy. If you tell them they can't run any option plays, we will play 90% man-to-man.
Coach, considering you're playing a team that's 0-4, is there any fear that the players will take them as a lesser opponent, look beyond them at all since they're 0-4?
I'm trying not to laugh. Last time I looked, we're 0-3. And that would be an absolute joke if any of them thought that.